Right, hiya. So we're in May of 2020 now, and I think I speak for everyone when I say this has been the most unpredictable year of our lives. We never could have planned this. And if somebody told us on New Year's Eve that, hey, 2020, everyone's going to be self-isolating, everyone's going to be in lockdown, you're not going to be able to travel, you're going to be working from home, all of these aspects, we never would have believed them. Now, obviously, when we've been self-isolating and in lockdown from our friends and for people like myself, the family as well, it gives us the perfect opportunity, whether we choose to or not, to overthink and reflect on a lot of things. Now, since we are in May now, this is actually the month of my 24th birthday. I turned 24 at the end of May, so happy, I was going to say belated birthday. Yeah, happy birthday to me. So what I wanted to talk about today is quite a personal topic, but quite an important one as well. It holds a lot of stigma, but I think it's good to talk about. So as the title suggests, yes, I am turning 24, and yes, I am a virgin. Sort of for choice and sort of not out of choice. We'll cover in this video why it's sort of, I'm unsure of how to define it or what to suggest it as, because I think there's arguments for thinking it is a choice and arguments for thinking it's not out of choice, but we'll get into that. If you're new here, you're probably thinking, why are you 24 years old? Why haven't you had sex yet? Why? Sex is amazing. Like, what's your problem? Are you that unattractive? You just can't have sex, or you just don't have the option to? Not exactly. So for those that have been watching me for a long time, this is nothing new to you. You know that I'm asexual. You know that I don't have any sexual desire or sexual attraction towards anyone. And that is my sole reason, really, that I'm still a virgin at 24. I've had relationships in the past. I've been with girls in the past, but I've never wanted to have sex. So as a result, I haven't had sex at this age. I've had the option to in several occasions, including in both of my relationships. But because this wasn't something that I wanted to endure, something that I didn't want to be a part of, I declined it on several occasions. And as a result, I have never had sex in my life. The idea of being a virgin is certainly one that used to affect me a lot more in the past than it does now. Ironically, as I've got older, I've got more accepting to the fact that I am a virgin, despite the age going higher, and the fact that, oh, now I'm a 24-year-old virgin, soon I'll be maybe a 30-year-old virgin. For some reason, I'm more accepting than I was as an 18-year-old virgin, which is really weird to say. But I think it's just something that I've got used to and sort of accepted that I will be, because I just don't like sex. When I was younger, this was a huge thing. And especially once I got to university, where sex was talked about and virginity was talked about amongst my friends and peers and people I was around, and people I shared a dormitory with. It was spoken about a lot, and obviously I was never going to lie. I would always say that I was a virgin and hadn't had sex, and it did get me down there, and it was initially the reason why I decided to come out as asexual, and I did so towards the end of my first year of university, because it was just getting way too hard for me to keep this up by saying, I don't want to go out, I don't want to go to a nightclub and have sex with someone. Everyone was trying to get me to do that, and people couldn't understand why I didn't want to do that. So as a result, I made a video coming out and saying, this is me, this isn't what I want. And from then on, everything changed, really. Now, being a 24-year-old, it's not really spoken about as much in conversation. Suddenly priorities have changed, and suddenly it's not everyone's priority to go out and party and have sex with a load of people. It becomes much more of a lesser talked about topic, and sex just doesn't really come out as much. So as a result, I don't have to talk about my sexuality, even let alone feeling excluded from a lot of groups or from friend groups or anything like that. So as I've got older, I've definitely felt more comfortable now with it, and like I said before, I've just learned to accept it. So as I said at the start, I am also going to talk about how it could be, how it's like sort of a choice and how it's not a choice. So to most of you probably think, well, that's you choosing not to have sex. You've been in relationships, you've been with girls, you've had the opportunity to have sex, and you chose to decline it. Yes, you're completely right, and I completely agree with you. And it's why I'm sort of confused as to why it's a choice or not. Because yes, I chose to decline, and for sure, perhaps I could have gone through with it, and I could have had sex in the past for sure. But it's also, I sort of categorize it as also not a choice in the sense that I want to have sex. I want to be this normal kid that, I can't really say kid anymore, but this normal 24-year-old that, has sex with people. It'd be a hell of a lot easier, and it would have made so many situations in my past a lot easier. Relationships might have lasted. Dates with girls might have gone on for longer rather than ending on like the second or third date once I wouldn't have sex with them. I want to. I would love to like it still. I still feel that, and that still hasn't changed as I progressed or got older. So in that sense, that's not a choice. Like, it's not me choosing not to like it. I just don't like it, and that's not something I've chosen. So in that respect, I perceive it as not a choice, because if I had the choice, then I would have sex, or I would want to have sex. So I'm sort of stuck, and it's sort of a dilemma whether it is a choice or not a choice. You can let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I'm confused, so I don't really try and establish which one really. I think I've also learned as I've got older, and also during this pandemic, that it doesn't really matter. And I really reflect on the time when I was younger, when I thought this was such a huge deal, and that I thought, my life was over because I didn't like sex, and that it was the biggest deal in the world, and I was so unlucky for not liking sex. When really reflecting on it, I realised there's so many more important things and in the world, and so many people in really horrible situations, and especially during this pandemic when so many people are dying as a result of this, and so many people are really negatively affected by so many things in today's world. Deprivation in terms of food, deprivation in terms of anything, and yet I'm complaining about deprivation of sex, which really, it doesn't matter. It's not essential. It's not like food. It's not like a roof over your head. It's not like water. So really, it doesn't affect me too much now, realizing that I can still travel. I can still do all of these things that maybe some people don't have the option to. And sex is a really minor thing in that respect. So I don't let it affect me too much, because I can still, hang out with friends. I can still travel to places. I can still see, I can still do a lot of other things that I'm really grateful for. So it's why it's so easy for me to publish a video like this, despite it being so personal, because I don't think it's a big deal. And people that make it a big deal, or people that think, oh, weird, you're a freaking virgin at 24, that's so weird, then like get on with your lives. Like, it really shouldn't matter to anyone. It's really not a big deal. And if people make it a big deal, then I think there's something wrong with them. So thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments what you thought of this. If you've got a story you want to share yourself, maybe you found it hard to, this is a safe place, believe me. Also let me know if you want to see more videos like this that kind of delve into deeper of my roots and maybe get a bit more personal. Apart from that, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll speak to you very soon.